This is my service presentation on Philile. So, what is Philile? Philile, defined by them, is that, quote, uh, our objective is to establish early childhood development centers, so preschools, in disadvantaged communities, running programs that are aimed at the physical, cognitive, emotional, spiritual, and social development of children. We do this through the support of sponsors and by employing and training teachers from the local communities. Um, High school volunteers from ASJ plan lessons and activities for children between the ages of 2 and 5 at Philile, helping create different learning opportunities. In addition, they provide kids with daily meals and a safe institution for these kids. So the purpose of Philile is to uplift children through early childhood development in deep sleep through activities such as arts, sports, reading in English, and music. Uh, all the activities in hope of familiarizing English for children who will be required to be educated in English after third grade. So, an aim that they also have is, well, right now it's currently more like this. So it's to play with the members and make them feel happier. So attention in general makes individuals feel special, and that is the goal of AISJ members for Philly kids. So the investigation, so community needs. So through my discussing with Philly staff, so including the manager, they told me that although fundraisers are great, it is the most common idea for a project such as I am gonna do. And the benefits of like a big sale that people tend to do are never extremely impactful in comparison to the donations Philly already gets, because we'd raise about less than 1,000 rand per bake sale, but the donations, so sponsors of Philly already donate way more than 1,000 rand. So, like I said, the Philly already has a donation fund, but they also thought that fundraisers are too much and they aren't usually done. Like, we'd make plans and we'd say we'd do get it done, but that never happened. So that's happened actually last semester, which is why I decided to try and do something different. So what I did was that my enterprise is not necessarily in favor of Philile, but I believe that it's for the benefit of the kids, because basically what I did was I took a photo of each of the child, and I was gonna print them. Well, I did print them on half a piece of paper with their name on it, and I laminated it. So lamination, obviously, because I want this to preserve for a long time, and it's kind of hard to break it. So, by discussing, I didn't really discuss with my student leader or project leader about my what I was actually gonna do, but I did it anyways. So, um, my business plan. So I know people be like, why are you taking a picture of them? Like, what does this benefit? Especially from ages 2 to 5. But I found this. This is what I wrote in my business plan. But I wrote, humans are reliant on reflections, photographs to know what they look like. So mirrors are not as common, and most of the kids in Philly don't have many pictures of themselves. So autobiographical memories are primarily visual. So as visual as your strongest memory. Near to none of these kids have or will have visual representations of their childhood. And although Philile is supposed to be like developing skills, English language, and primary school learning, um, I don't um I'm not really sure that it's that truly impactful. I mean, maybe a few kids would this would actually really benefit, but as the kid leaves at the age of 5, they're placed back into their environment with no English whatsoever, and it's kind of a lost cause, the situation that they've already been doing. So with this picture project, it can be something they could cherish for a lifetime, and an interesting topic is the association between images and emotion. As, for example, seeing a joyful childhood picture of themselves, they would then put themselves in that state again and they'd feel the same emotion. So I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you'd feel what you see. And with images comes the boost in self confidence, the prideful feeling of having something as special and uncommon as a physical photograph of yourself. This is considering where they're like their situation. Not to say that it's gonna make them go, oh, look, I have a picture of myself. I'm better than you. But it does give them a boost of self confidence of having something that they can value. So I mean, I showed the outcomes, and you can see that outcomes. I put like considering ethical implications, um, planned and initiated activities, undertaking new challenges, increase awareness of your strengths, shows perseverance and commitment, working collaboratively with others. I'll get into these later in my reflections, but yeah. So the action plan of what I did, well, I planned. You can see here that for week 1, I was supposed to ask about the numbers of the kids to see how many I had to make, and this was supposed to be done on the 15th of March. And then by week 2, I would collect the data, and get the money, and supplies to bring, like the paper and stuff. And by week 3, I was supposed to take the pictures and know their names. Week 4, I was supposed to make them and laminate it. And by week 5, I was supposed to hand them out. The problem with this plan was after week 1, Philile went on like a 3-week break. So that just ruins all of my plans. And what I actually did looked nothing like this. Like, I remember last week was our last session of Philile, and the week before that I handed it out, and the week before that, so 3 weeks ago, I actually took the pictures and the names, but the problem is I didn't do it for all the kids because what they do is we split them up in groups, so we take about half of them go on the playground, and half of them come and like do art sessions with us. And luckily for me, with the art session, so recently we've started creating these booklets for them with their names on them. And since the booklet was right next to them, I knew the name of the students. And um, uh, so fortunately for me, I could easily get the pictures and the names done on the same day. But it was only for about 20 kids maximum. And that's so bad because I had to consider about the other kids since they're 40 kids. My God. They're about sorry, there are about 40 kids, and I wasn't since I didn't really talk to anybody about my my business plan. I wasn't sure about the numbers, and it ended up being. I think it was okay from speaking from my perspective right now, but I think at least getting some done than none is better. But that can be a plan for next year, I guess, to get the. But speaking of my time management as this action plan, everything was done last minute. I remember the day I was gonna hand them out. That was the day I printed it. That was the day I laminated it. That's the day I cut it out. It was just a rush, and I do want to, and I did it all by myself. Maybe next, if I plan to do this again, I want to get assistance. But in the end of the day, I got it done, and I'm happy about that. So reflections. So this is like week 2 or 3. So around January, February. Um, I'm not gonna read it out, but during the session, um, uh, this was the first time we actually had. It's the only time we had everybody show up. All our members who signed up came, and this was so unorganized. We had no idea what we were doing. I know we didn't really have a lunch meeting, and we kind of just all showed up. And Ellen, the leader, was like, "Okay, I'm gonna split you guys up in like 3 groups, and you guys, you guys go do art, you guys go do music." And it was just a disaster. As I felt like we didn't really have the preparation, and even though I did this last year in 9th grade, last year was I thought this was unorganized. Last year was a disaster, but last year was mainly focused on playing games, which I think is somewhat the route that we're taking now, half the route, because half the kids go play and half the kids go art. But this showed gave us an early basis because I remember I was put into like the playing group for this week, and we could see that they didn't have the as much materials for these games. I remember we were supposed to like build blocks or something, and there's we had to give like 10 blocks. Like these are really small, like 3 by 5 centimeters. So it wasn't necessarily the best and most efficient way to play, and no one could really build a fun game. And since you only had 10 blocks, but this really, I know I just highlighted which of the outcomes I felt, but it increased my awareness of what is happening and their actual supplies. As this was the time when we went to Philile to actually do it, to do the service, and this is working collaboratively. Like I said, she put us into groups, and we had to know what to do, and we kind of had to take charge of the situation and give the kids blocks, but we didn't really think it through since we didn't have much time, and that's why everybody just ended up playing with their like 3 blocks. Anyways, so week 6. This is the week I took pictures. So 3 weeks ago, and what I so this is the first time the kids started coming to AISJ instead of us going there, and I feel like this is way more beneficial as AISJ has much more like way more resources for them to use, especially with the art. So like I said, this is when we split them up. Half went to this art where they could either they were cutting out papers, drawing themselves, or coloring in a book. There are 3 groups, and we'd switch the kids around obviously so that they'd get a chance for each session. And so we had about 20 kids, and the other 20 kids went on the playground, and because we have that in the ASJ. So like there was quite a few of us. There's like 8 of us AIJ members taking control. So we split it up like 3 or 2 per group. So 2 people would be there with the cutting, and 3 people would be here with the coloring, and the other 2 would be drawing themselves and assisting the kids. But I found it so fortunate that we had the names of the kids with them, as spelling would be definitely an issue. And what I did was I was still participating with helping the kids, but I took pictures of them, and it was really nice because you'd have it like on the front camera, and you'd see the smile of their faces like just by looking at a picture of themselves. So that definitely ensured that they would enjoy the pictures I would hand up to them. So outcomes is planned and initiated activities. So although this wasn't planned, right? Like everything worked out right because as soon as we got in the room, people were like, "Okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and we'll stay here." And that was the most that felt really good for the first time to actually feel like we had things under control. So undertaking new challenges, um, well, I'm not really the best at assisting with cutting or coloring, but this proved that I can actually do it. Week 7. So this was the week I handed the project out. But the problem is that this day there was a awkward time schedule with the buses. So normally Philly is from like 1:40 after school to 2:50. So this day, we had it from 1:40 to 3:30. And that wasn't a problem for me, though. But a lot of people didn't show up this day because there were no buses for 3:30, and if that meant they would have to stay 2 hours till 5:30 in school. And I staked because I I just wanted to do it, and I had to do my finish my project as well. But like I said, so they started coming to our school, and that's great. And um, this one was not planned at all. This session was horrible, but in the end, it was horrible in the beginning. But I think we ended it off really well. Uh, so like once again, Ellen was like, "Okay, guys, like we don't really have anything to do planned, well, not to do." And we were all in the playground, and she gave each member like 5 kids to do whatever the hell they wanted on the playground. And this was huge for me because I've never just been told, here, take these and do something. Uh, so that's something new for me, and I think I did well. Though in the end, um, I know we also like there's about 8 of us ASJ members who had 5 kids. In the end, it was kind of just a mush of everybody, and I didn't end with the kids I started off with. I don't think anybody did. So that's why my learning outcomes were like developing new skills, and because I never really took charge and uh, in such a situation where I had to actually take care of these kids. And I showed perseverance and commitment as I stayed after, despite the no buses, and to actually get my project done. But the way I handed in my project was actually kind of weird. I'm actually going to get into that later. So the planning. So once again, why did I choose it? Like I said, the just now with the humans are reliant on reflections. So why did I choose to actually do this? And during my this time, especially now and throughout, like even last year, a lot of people um, aren't really sure what Philile does, and I don't think I'm 100% sure either. Like we say we're familiarizing with English, we say we're here like just to give them the attention they need considering their situations, but sometimes like you're just not really sure. And I know a lot of people just look at Philile and go, "Wow, like okay, you guys do nothing," but that's not what I wanted to do. Like I know that's not true. So I wanted to do something for my project that was directly impactful for the kids and meaningful in a clear way. That's something they could cherish forever. And Mr. Shablat gave me that idea of taking pictures of the kids. And I never considered it, but then once I read about cherishing human memories, although I'm not the biggest fan of that, considering their situation, I think that's the best thing they could do. I mean, the best thing I could have done. So my action. So when and how my project was completed. So organization, horrible. Like I said, I did not plan at all. I need to do like time management, printing. Oh god, I need to make clear plans and talk to my service leaders. That's what I've learned. Um, and printing, laminating. I know I this was a lot. I did it last minute, the day of. I was supposed to be giving the pictures back in like 30 minutes from that moment, and I went to one of the printers and I asked someone there to laminate it for me. And it takes 30 minutes to turn on like the laminating machine. So everything was on a tight schedule. I had to cut everything out. But I didn't use scissors because that's pretty stupid. Like I don't really know what it's called, but it's like this giant cutting machine that I used because I thought it was way faster. And handing the product over. So this is it. I didn't want to give the pictures to the kids, considering there were a lot of other kids who didn't have a picture, and I wouldn't want them to fight over it or feel bad. So I handed it to one of their staff, and just the look on her face, like she looked happy to have these. Like I took pictures of, like I said, took pictures of each of the kids, but some of them I had group photos because I thought those were really cute, and I should include them. And she told me she would hand out the ones with their names on, but she'll keep the group photos. I'm not sure what they did, but so the quality of life of so Philile creates a social value for the following target groups. Like my product creates a social value for the following target groups. So the kids of Philile, as they have the profile photos, and their family members, as yeah, well, same for them. They could cherish their memories as well. Individuals involved in the production of images. Well, really just me. But social value, like I do feel good that I did something that could impact. Like even if it just impacts, like makes one kid happy, that's impactful enough. Uh, so we create. So like here in the following way, this is what social value is: the cherishment of their childhood, and I already mentioned mine. But like I said, impacting one kid is better than none. So the sustainability of Philile. and possibly my project. So ASG students will continue to go to Philile. Organization needs to become clearer and more efficient over time. But considering last year's, like when I was in ninth grade to now, I know it's a lot better. And just comparing that very first, that second, third week of Philile to now, um, although it's not as still as organized, I do feel better prepared for the situations, which is pretty great. Um, and so other younger members and myself enjoy the service and hope to become leaders in the future. So, oh, actually, they do have future leaders. I'm not sure if they're gonna do as well as Ellen, because well, she has that leader commanding like attitude that I think these future leaders have, but they do seem more like friendly. But I don't think they're well trained and prepared to take over. I mean, they do look a little lost, and I mean, we all feel a little confused. But I think with the help of Miss Beatty and possibly Ellen next year, that they'll do fine. So, like I said, implementation of my project. So the week after I handed it in, I asked the staff like, "Oh, what did you guys do with the pictures?" And she said that the photos they're gonna give it back to the children, and the ones that they keep the with the group photos, so they're gonna keep those. They might just keep it for standing or show. Like it's just nice to show what's happening in Philile. And what I think was really great was that in the pictures, all the kids smiled. Like it wasn't a challenge where I had to be like try and get them to smile and laugh. It's like they just saw the image of themselves and they automatically did it. So I think just seeing that smile when they saw a picture, like just saw the reflection of themselves, is great. And that's impactful enough. Like if you get one kid to smile, that's great. That's good enough. Uh, I think that is it for my project. But I I also want to the sustainability. Sorry, sustainability for this actual project, because I think we could do this again. I think we could do this like every year. Handing out pictures to the kids, even if it's the same kids, it will show like development of their age and how they grow up. I think it's not a hard project, like I said, because I did it the day of. Really, all I had to do was take pictures, put them on a Word document, put in their names, and print it. And I think if we gain members next year, this will be easy to do. Like one person can do just one kid and print that out, and that's easy as it is. And truly, I mean, I think I can ask them about it next year if I do Philile, and we can really see if it's worth doing. I think it is. But yeah, I think anybody could do it for any service. So that is it. Thank you.